Shrimp versus prawn, they look the same, taste similar, and are often used interchangeably. But what if I told you they're not the same thing? From their anatomy to their flavor, price, and even the way they cook, there are some shocking differences between these two seafood favorites. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one to buy, cook, and serve like a pro. Before we dive in, hit that like button if you've ever used shrimp or prawns in your kitchen. And don't forget to subscribe to Consumer's Choice Top 5 for more smart food comparisons every week. Let's clear up the biggest confusion first. Shrimp and prawns are not the same species. Shrimp belong to the suborder Pleocyemata, and they typically have a curved body with overlapping shell segments. Prawns, on the other hand, are part of Dendrobranchiata, with straighter bodies and longer legs. Here's the easiest way to tell them apart visually. Prawns have branched gills and longer second pincers, while shrimp have lamellar gills and shorter legs. It's subtle, but chefs and seafood pros can spot it instantly. It's in the curve of their bodies, the structure of their legs, and the way their gills are built. By the end, you'll walk up to any seafood display with confidence. You'll know what you're buying, why it costs what it does, and how to treat it in your pan. The name Dendrobranchiata literally means tree-gilled. Shrimp have lamellar gills, which are plate-like in structure. Think the pages of a book. Female shrimp brood their eggs on their swimmerets, carrying them until they hatch. Prawns, however, release their eggs freely into the water to fend for themselves. Okay, so they're biologically different. But what about taste? That's where things get interesting. The real debate happens in the kitchen, focusing on flavor and texture. While their habitats create subtle nuances, how we cook them often plays the biggest role. Shrimp are the versatile crowd pleaser. Saltwater varieties offer a distinct briny sweetness. Their key textural trait is a satisfyingly firm, snappy bite that holds its shape perfectly in dishes like a classic shrimp cocktail or a zesty ceviche. Prawns, on the other hand, lean towards a more complex, savory profile, often compared to a miniature lobster. They have a meatier, more substantial mouthfeel. That hint of sea is a delicate umami, a rich oceanic depth that shines when they're simply grilled. Here's a fun fact. In many blind taste tests, most people can't reliably tell the difference, as the preparation method often masks the subtleties. But when served simply, connoisseurs often prefer the robust nature of prawns for grilling and the snappy texture of shrimp for salads and pastas. Comment below, are you team shrimp or team prawn? Let's settle this once and for all. But the differences don't stop at taste. How they cook is arguably the most important factor. Their unique muscle structures mean they react to heat in distinct ways, and understanding this is the secret to unlocking their full potential. Let's talk shrimp. Their finer muscle fibers cook incredibly fast, making them perfect for high-heat methods like stir-frying. Their delicate flavor is a blank slate for garlic, lemon, or chili. But this speed is also their weakness. That perfect C shape is your signal they're done. If they curl into a tight O, they've become rubbery. Now for prawns. Their texture is their superpower. Softer, more tender, and almost buttery. This succulence gives them a luxurious quality. Being larger, they're more forgiving with cooking times and can stand up to bolder flavors in dishes like paella or rich curries. They're the ideal choice when you want the seafood to be the star. And nutritionally? Here, they're practically twins. Both are fantastic sources of lean protein, low in calories and packed with nutrients like selenium and vitamin B12. From a health perspective, you can't go wrong. The main difference comes from your cooking method. So, the final verdict? It all comes down to your dish. For a firm, snappy texture and a sweet, briny pop of flavor, choose shrimp. If you're creating a dish with a tender, succulent, and meaty centerpiece for robust sauces, the prawn is your answer. Walk into almost any grocery store in the US, and you'll be greeted by a sea of shrimp. They're abundant, familiar, and relatively affordable, but what about their larger cousins, the prawns? While they grace menus across Europe and Asia, here they're often a luxury, a specialty item you might find at a high-end seafood counter or in an upscale restaurant. This difference in availability is the first clue to the difference in price. On average, you can expect to pay a premium for prawns, often 15 to 50% more per pound. A major reason is their journey. The vast majority of true prawns in the US are imported, primarily from Southeast Asia. This involves a costly global supply chain of shipping, tariffs, and logistics. all of which add to the final sticker price. The shrimp we see everywhere comes from a few key sources. A significant portion is farmed, with species like white-leg shrimp raised in countries like Ecuador and India. Then there's our domestic supply, prized wild-caught shrimp from the Gulf of Mexico. The rest are imported from Asia and Latin America to supplement our massive demand. One of the most visible differences is size. Prawns, like the impressive giant river prawn, can grow to be truly colossal. Cultivating these giants is far more resource-intensive than farming smaller shrimp. They require more space, a longer growth cycle to reach their market size, and often a more specialized, protein-rich diet. All of this translates to higher production costs. The story is similar for wild-caught prawns. They often inhabit deeper waters, requiring larger, specialized trawlers that burn more fuel. Furthermore, prawns don't typically school in the same dense populations as shrimp, leading to lower catch volumes per trip. This scarcity means the cost to catch each individual prawn is significantly higher. When you break it down, the price tag on prawns tells a story of economics and effort. It's a combination of their impressive size, which takes more resources to achieve, their relative scarcity in the wild, and the complex, costly logistics of either farming them or pulling them from the deep sea. So, what are you really paying for with that prawn premium? It's a distinct culinary experience. Prawns boast a firm, meatier texture, often compared to a small lobster tail, with a characteristically sweet flavor. This makes them perfect for grilling where their size can be the main event. Shrimp are generally more tender and versatile, perfect for soaking up flavors in dishes like scampi, curries, or stir-fries. But here's a crucial tip for U.S. shoppers. Be savvy. The term prawn is often used as a marketing buzzword for any large shrimp to justify a higher price. That pricey prawn might just be a big shrimp. To be sure, check the packaging for a species name. If you find a true prawn, its higher cost is justified by its unique lobster-like qualities. Let's dive into a common kitchen confusion: shrimp versus prawns. In the US, the terms are often used interchangeably, mostly as a marketing tactic. You might buy jumbo prawns that are technically a large species of shrimp. In many Commonwealth countries, prawn is the default for larger varieties, while shrimp is for tiny ones. This global inconsistency is why grocery store labels can be so misleading. So, how do you know what you're getting? Become a label detective. Look for the scientific species name. For instance, is a true prawn, while is a commonly farmed shrimp? Also check the origin. Gulf shrimp from the US are almost always true shrimp, while many imported prawns are often just large farmed shrimp in disguise. If you've ever been fooled by packaging like this, drop a shopping cart emoji in the comments below. So, our first rule of seafood shopping: ignore the common name on the front. Whether it says colossal shrimp or king prawns, that name tells you very little. It's primarily a marketing term to denote size and justify a higher price. Instead, use your eyes. If you're buying fresh, whole seafood, look for two anatomical clues. First, the body shape. Shrimp have a pronounced tight C curve, while prawns have a much gentler one because of how their shell segments overlap. Second, the legs. Prawns have claws on 3 pairs of legs, with the second pair being largest. Shrimp only have claws on 2 pairs. Buying a bag of frozen, peeled seafood, it's harder to tell. Here, your best friend is the count size. A number like 21/25 means you get 21 to 25 pieces per pound. Remember, the smaller the number, the bigger the seafood. U10 means under 10 per pound, the true giants. This is great for cooking. Larger sizes are perfect for grilling, while smaller counts are ideal for pastas and stir-fries. Ultimately, the name is less important than real quality indicators. First, freshness. It should smell clean like the ocean and have a firm, translucent texture. Second, source. Look for sustainability certifications like the ASC for farmed or MSC for wild. Finally, treatment. Check the ingredients for sodium tripolyphosphate, or STP. It's a chemical that adds water weight you pay for, and it can ruin the texture, making it rubbery with a chemical aftertaste. Nutritionally, both are fantastic, packed with lean protein. Being an informed consumer is your best defense. By understanding count size, checking for quality, and reading the fine print, you can navigate the seafood counter with confidence, getting the best product for your meal. So, shrimp or prawns? Which is better? The truth is, it depends on what you're cooking. Go with shrimp for affordability, versatility, and classic dishes. Pick prawns when you want richer flavor, meatier texture, or a seafood centerpiece. At the end of the day, both are delicious. And now, you'll never mix them up again. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a big thumbs up. It tells YouTube to share it with more seafood lovers just like you. Make sure to subscribe to Consumer's Choice Top 5 and tap the bell, because we've got more smart food comparisons, kitchen hacks, and money-saving tips coming every week. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with that one friend who always mixes up shrimp and prawns. You know who they are? Thanks for watching Consumer's Choice Top 5, where smart choices meet delicious results. See you in the next one.